Hey, what's happening? Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, personality types. I've always kind of considered myself there's alpha, beta, sigma, omega, male hierarchy types. I don't know if it's just male and female. I don't know. Personality types. I've always considered myself a sigma. I'm going to tell you guys what happened to me yesterday. And even like with my recovery videos, and I tell you guys my experience and my opinion on it, and what you do with that information is up to you. What I'm trying to get to, the point I'm trying to make here is I'm not a leader. I've never considered myself a leader, and I'm not a follower. I've considered myself a sigma. Kind of, I guess the way I understand a sigma is kind of like an alpha, but a lone wolf. Doesn't lead, doesn't follow, kind of just an independent. And what I'm going to, I just realized the story I'm going to tell you guys from yesterday, I didn't even plan this, but it kind of follows the whole Sigma thing. So I'm going to tell you guys what exactly, I ran into a pack of, a pack of people. I don't know what else. Predators, a pack of predators yesterday. And I'm going to tell you how it went. I was going to come back and make this video yesterday, but I was still so amped up. My adrenaline was going. I didn't think my breathing and my heartbeat, my hands getting numb. I've told you this when I used to get in fights, my hands would get numb. And they got numb yesterday. And I can't feel them. When I hit somebody, I would just see their head go back and I wouldn't feel it. And that's the condition I was in when I got home yesterday, but I did not touch anybody yesterday. All right, let me start at the very beginning. After I did yesterday's video, I went for a walk around town. You guys watch my videos, you know that. It's about a 4 or 5 mile walk around town. I'm going to have pictures on my community page. I went to Google Earth, and I took about 5 pictures that show the beginning when I ran into this group, this pack, when we first saw each other, when we crossed paths, and the final confrontation and their destination. All right, let me start at the very beginning. So I walk out the back door of my apartment yesterday. It was about 7 a.m. No, it was more like 6:30 a.m. The streets are empty. It's Saturday morning. This is a city of about 60,000 people. And I've never seen any problems here. I've never had any problems here. I've never had anybody say boo to me. And honestly, I don't want to sound cocky, but I attribute that to my size and the way I carry myself. I've had people throughout the last 10, 20 years look at me and say, Daryl, they see something like that, something that makes them weary. And I don't know what it is. And they've actually, I had one guy say to me, you've seen some stuff, huh? And I wasn't sure what he meant, but he was right. And I've never had problems here up until yesterday, and it could have been a problem. Okay, so I leave the apartment building. I go to the back parking lot. I go out the gate. It's secure. And there's a small park next door. Now, I don't go to this park. There's another park, Muzzy Field, home of the Bristol Blues. But this small park I don't go to. It's got a pavilion. It's got one of those round buildings and with open sides, and a lot of times homeless people will sleep there. And I get without a doubt, I get the feeling that there's drinking and drugs going on in this park. It's a small park, and there's nothing there for me. No good could come of this, so I don't go there. But I have to walk parallel to it. I walk parallel to it on my walk. As I'm walking out, I hear loud voices, and I look over, and at first I thought it was a policeman. It looked like somebody wearing all blue, and I thought there was somebody being arrested in the park. And I kept looking over, and I think the more I looked, I thought I was a cop arresting somebody, but then I made eye contact. There was 4 people, a pack. These people were these kids, they weren't kids, they were easily in their 20s. Now, the person I thought that was a cop was a solid, well-built guy, probably 25 to 29, wearing like blues, like you go to work in, a blue jacket, blue pants, like work pants, like maybe a factory or something. And I made mistake him for an outfit for a cop from about maybe 80, 100 feet away. And there was 3 other people with him. There was one female, one skinny female, probably late teens. There was one black guy, probably early 20s, and I think it was either a white guy or a Spanish guy. And this will all come into play why I'm saying their nationalities and everything, because I had to sum up who they were and who was leading, and I had to do that real quick. All right, so I turned back, I'm like, oh, I better stop. I'm going to stop staring now, because it's 4 people making a lot of noise. When people like this, when I see people, it's 6:30 in the morning, group of 4 late teens, early 20s, making a lot of noise, going through this particular park. There's no doubt in my mind that these people have not slept all night. It's 6:30 Saturday morning. So they've been up all night. That's the first thing that goes through my head. They're loud. I've talked about this in other videos. When I hear people being loud, because I know this because I've gone through this. And when you're being loud like this, that means they were just either using or they're gonna use. They're amped up. When you have money, when you have the substances with you, you're boisterous. It's that high. And it's the opposite when you don't. You're very withdrawn, angry. So, in my head, I'm thinking, I know what's going on here. They've been up all night and they're going to use. I keep walking. I cross the main street, North Main Street. There's a very large field where a strip mall used to be. I'll have pictures of it on the community page. And I continue and walk. I walk around one side of the field. It's probably about 3-4 acres at least. Just clear. You can see to the other. It's right in the middle of town, and it's just an empty expanse of asphalt and some grass from one side to the other. And I hear the yelling, and I see that now they've come out of the park, and they're I'm going up this way, and they're going around the park this way. I keep walking. We get to opposite sides, a couple, I'd say about 500 feet. About a quarter mile in between us, not even, maybe a little less, about 1/5 of a mile between us. So I could hear them, and they start yelling, and you can tell when voices are they now, they probably saw me staring at them initially like I thought it was a cop, and now I could tell by the voices they're screaming, they're yelling, hey, and it's not. It's they're testing me, and I knew this right away. They're not saying, hey, excuse me. They're like, blah, blah, and they're making just loud noises to see what I do. I'm like, oh man, right? And then the adrenaline starts pumping. So I keep walking. So I go up around, and I'm coming down. My path brings me this way, and I know they're coming this way. All right, and I look over at them. Always make eye contact. Do not look afraid. Never look afraid. I had to go against my own, inside. This happened several times. Just the inside of me is screaming that to do something else, to walk away, to laugh, to smile, to make conversation, to be nice. The inside of me is screaming to do that. But I know I have to look, just stare them down. Don't look friendly. Don't respond. And just, and walk towards them. So as we're coming together, I decide to take a shortcut. And I get about 10 feet, and I'm hearing them yell, and I stop. I stop right there. And this was an important part. Because I was all of a sudden, I started going away from them very quickly, a route that I never take. And I said, no, wrong thing to do. I stopped, I turned around, and I looked at them, and I started walking directly towards them. This is when everything in my being is screaming, no, Daryl. Four guys, they're all, the guy in the work outfit was beefy. The other 2 were kind of skinny, younger, and then the girl. This is the most dangerous configuration, because when there's a female, they have to show off for the female. They protect the female, and I know because I've gone through this. Okay, so I start walking directly towards them, and they get quiet, and I look like I'm walking right at it. They see me stop. They see me turn around and start walking directly toward them, and it gets quiet. But they're still staring right at me to see what I'm going to do. So I just go on my usual path. Now they're directly behind me, and all my adrenaline is up because I can't see them. I don't know if they're coming up quick behind me or what. I keep walking, and it's quiet, and I don't hear anything. I walk slow. It's so hard to walk slow. I walk slower than my usual pace because in my gut, the last thing I want is a confrontation. I know what's going to happen. I won't walk away from a confrontation. When fight and flight, I don't use flight, and the adrenaline is just steaming. And I continue walking around the building, and then I discover they took the shortcut, and they headed me off on the other side of the building. All right, so now, man, the adrenaline's going full blast. They're about 80 feet away, and we're walking towards each other. Now, quickly, I see there's a overhead railroad, a trestle, and I could see the dirt paths. I've never been up there myself, but I'm sure that people go up there to drink and use drugs. Like I said, I've been through all this before. I've been in their position. I know what they're doing. I know what they're going to do. I know what they're thinking because I was them. Now we're kind of headed, and I'm slowing down, and and every part of my being is saying, just keep going, and I'm just slowing down more and more. So we're almost going to run in together, and I know that I have to do this. It throws them off. All of a sudden, now I think the alpha, you gotta find the alpha in this situation. All right. And then there's like the under alpha, the beta, I guess you could call him, and that's the loudmouth. And sure enough, one guy yells out, "Hey, cool sneakers!" I was wearing these. These are size 15. I'll talk more about that in another video. Right? So now inside, your gut feeling, you want to. The nice guy in me, the clean guy in me, wants to say, "Hey, this is what I guess I'd call a target would do." You want to smile and say, "Yeah, thanks." It's natural to want to feel relieved. Like, oh, they're making conversation. It's a compliment, but inside, it's not a compliment. They're testing me. They're playing with me. They're toying with me. I stop. Now, it's important to figure out which one's the alpha, because if you go for the wrong one, I went towards the guy about 20 feet away, and it's so hard to, you got to stare him down, and it's hard to do. And I asked him, I stopped and I said, "Do you know me?" And this threw them off. I didn't say, "Do I know you?" I said, "Do you know me?" And in their head, I think they're thinking, should I know him? Do I know him? And it threw them off. It makes them nervous. And then, and I just keep staring down, and I don't say anything else. And the guy goes, "No, man, no. Just saying you had nice sneakers." So I keep staring. And then I said, "Have fun." I kind of smiled, and I said, "Have fun." And I turned around and walked away. Now, have fun, that meant I knew what they were doing. I knew they were going to use. Right there, that gets their attention back on where they were going to this overhead bridge to use. We were both heading towards this overhead bridge. And I turn around and I start walking away. I think I threw them off enough. As I walk to the bridge, as I get further from them, continue walking, I could tell that they are, in fact, heading for the bridge to go up on top of the trestle and party. I go under the bridge and I keep going up the road. And as I get further away, I start, they get braver, and I start hearing the yells again, a couple of yells again. But now I know they're just doing it to make up for the losing this situation. It's just to save what's left of their ego. But this could have turned into a whole different situation. There was nobody on the streets. The streets were, it was 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday. There was nobody, even though the police station was probably within sight. Some people would run or walk quickly, and to me, that's the wrong thing to do. It's almost just like a last-ditch effort to go against your best instincts and be aggressive back. It's a pack, and they're testing you. They're playing with you, especially with this female. Never approach the female. Never talk to the female, because they will protect or show off for the female. Like I act like the female doesn't even exist, even if she talks to me. She is inconsequential to me dealing with these guys. Figure out which one's the alpha and keep him in front of you. And then there's going to be a loudmouth, the one that tests you. And then the alpha watches. If you go for the beta, the second in command, the loudmouth, the alpha will jump you. and you'll get your butt beat. So you always got to keep that alpha in view. You got the Joker, the second in command, kind of testing you. And that's what happened yesterday. I'm getting amped up just talking about this. I think I did the right thing. This is the first time this has happened in this neighborhood. And I'm going right on that same walk this morning again. And part of me wanted to go back and screw with them some more yesterday. I had to do everything in my power not to walk back around and go under the bridge again. But I told myself, what good could come of this? And I asked myself this. All right, I see I'm running long. You guys have a great Sunday.